Hello, 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 welcome, 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 welcome to the 6 yard box. I think something didn't work there, so let's try it again. Yeah, I think there's a mistake somewhere, so apologies to everybody. Apologies, apologies. This is the Sunday back page, and yeah, this is where we look at the Sunday back pages of the newspaper. And yeah, you're welcome if you're new to the channel. Subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. We tried to do something in there, but it did not work. That's technology for you. That's technology for you. And yeah, this is on the back page. This is the football. Um, this is the football back pages of the newspapers. We're going to be looking at newspapers. This one is going to be for only for half an hour. So yeah, we try to do something really clever there, but it didn't really work. I don't know why that is though. So yeah, let's try that again. Go to properties. Let's go to properties. Let's go to okay. Let's give it one more go and see if it works. Let's see if it works. One more go. So let's go back to yeah, welcome. This is the back pages of the newspaper. Let's do that one more time, and we've tried that again, and it worked. So you're welcome. Sunday back pages. Let's look at the Sunday back pages of the newspapers. And yeah, that's what we are doing right now. Gonna be looking at some of the newspapers in the land, and we'll be looking at what they are all saying. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, like, share. Sunday back pages. There's a couple of games we'll be doing today as well. So um, bear with me as we get cracking on this. I'm using like a new software, so it's all a bit new to me right now. So yeah, just gonna be um, I think that's the wrong one, to be honest. I think I'm gonna delete this one. This one is the wrong one. That's the wrong one. So yeah, we're going to be looking at the newspaper headlines today. I think the biggest headlines will be from the Manchester derby. Is it really a big derby in this season? From my experience, I don't think so. Both sides are not doing really well. They're not doing really well in the league this year. So yeah, it's not as big as it can be. But because um, these clubs have history. You want to talk about United? You know, they've won the league so many times in the past, and you know they I'm gonna put it. They've done it so many times. So um, they've done it so many times. So yeah, they can do it um, multiple times. So yeah, it is one of those whereby you know that it is it is one of those whereby you know that yeah, it is one of those that you know whereby it is gonna be it's gonna be one of those whereby you know the two games are gonna be played by the two sides, but it is just what it is now. Really, both sides are not doing really well. So yeah, it is. Let's just say it's gone one of those days whereby um, it's one of those days um, whereby both sides are not really flying. You know, they are not really flying. So I think the Manchester Derby this season has got a different meaning to it. It's not the same as it was seasons gone by, and that's the way we're going to look at it. So we're going to be looking at that in the newspaper headlines for for today. We're also going to be looking at all the Premier League games over this weekend. In the Premier League, there are loads of games. There are loads of games in the Premier League this weekend. So uh, loads of games to be played in the Premier League this weekend as well. So yeah, it is going to be interesting to see what happens in the Premier League this weekend. So let's get cracking. Manchester Derby headlines, and let's quickly run through the Sunday back pages and see what the papers are saying. So let's see what the papers are saying in the Sunday back pages. Uh, do, 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 do. Let's see what the papers are saying. Let's do that one again because I can't see the. Let's minimize that, and let's see what the papers are saying in the headlines of the newspaper. Yeah, you got headlines. You got flows. Flow is the one. This one is from the Sports Sunday Sports, and I think what they're talking about there. I'm not sure what they're talking about there. Let's just read the City's 100 million target is as a release clause. This is Florian Wirtz. That's it, Florian Wirtz. He's been linked with City. He plays for Bayern Leverkusen. He's the one that's been linked with City. So he's the guy that City wants, and yeah, it's the player that they'll be going for. It's the player that they'll be going for. So he's the guy that they'll be going for this season. So yeah, he's the one. He's the one that City wants. Florian Wirtz. Uh, whether we'll see him in a City shirt is something that we will need to be seen. He's been what do you call it? Um, he's been linked with City, so he's the guy that City want to go and get. It's gonna be very expensive, as I think it's gonna be, and yeah, it's gonna be the guy that City wants to go and get, and we'll see what City will be able to do with him. For Vats, he's the guy, and he's got a release clause of 100 million. Also, in the headlines of today, is also the same story. Is in Daily Star, the back pages of the papers. They're talking about for Verts 100 million to replace Kevin De Bruyne. He announced earlier on this season that he wants to leave City. So yeah, it's one of those whereby it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, he's the guy that City wants to go and get. I think I'm gonna remove this. Gonna remove this because it's causing a lot of problems for the stream. I'm gonna do this as well. I'm just gonna read. I was gonna put the papers on the headlines on, but I think there's a better way to do it. And I'm gonna do it that way instead of that way because it looks like it's messing up the screen. So yeah, we're gonna do it a different way. So what I'm gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Get that one. We're gonna do. Just want to give the headlines. Put the headlines up. This is the back pages of the newspaper. Just put the headlines on, and that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna do it like that, like this, like this, like that. Where is it? Where is it? It's not showing. It's one of those days where everything is just glitching. Hopefully it's fine now. There's a lot of stuff going on at the same time, so just bear with me. This is the newspaper headlines, newspaper back pages, where we look at the newspaper back page. Uh, so yeah, just bear with me. I know it's gonna be a little bit difficult because the stream might be a little bit all over the place. But we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. 2 o'clock is the Tottenham Southampton game. We'll be watching that one as well. So I think the headlines of the newspapers are all the same in terms of looking at the who's going to take over from Kevin De Bruyne at Manchester City. It's going to be a big what do you call it? It's going to be a big. It's going to be a big what do you call it? Shoes to fill in, and basically it's in all the newspaper. It is the same as they all of them are basically talking about that story in the newspapers in terms of Florian Wirtz replacing Kevin De Bruyne. So yeah, it's the same, basically the same story in all the papers, and yeah, it is going to be interesting to see how City cope. I think um, it might just be a story for the summer. Really, it might not really come to fruition. We just have to wait and see. But he's a good player in the German league. But we've seen players come from the other leagues, and you've seen them struggle in this league. So yeah, but I've seen him. I've watched him play for Bayern Leverkusen, and he was good. He was good, to be honest. And yeah, we'll see how he does in this league. This league is unforgiving. It's a brutal league, and we'll see what he does. So let's just look at those headlines. Those are the headlines in the newspapers. You can see it's all about Florian Wirtz coming to City. And yeah, there's a big story in the back pages of the newspaper. Let's also dive deep into those newspaper headlines and see what the other stories are in these papers. Let's see what the other stories are. So if you go into the Sun, um, if you go into the Sun, let's see what the other stories are. So let's just dive into that story, and basically uh, it is saying in that newspaper, Manchester. He's got the Manchester story as well in there. And then Florian Wirtz is one of the story. Pep caves a great building, a statue. That's what also Pep is saying about Kevin De Bruyne. They should build him a statue. Yeah, I think he deserves everything that he can get. Also in the paper, Goma moving. Ganacho Goma Gama gets moving. That's Manchester United, the derby, Manchester United versus Man City. That's one of the headlines of the back pages as well this week. And they're saying in the back pages, they're saying that Manchester United's Alessandro Garnacho gave the, what do you call it? Gave 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 the biggest hint yet. He's thinking of leaving the club. They tried to sell him in the summer, so I'm not surprised that he wants to leave in the January window after discreetly putting his house on the market. So he's put the house on the market. That's normally a sign that a player wants to go. So he's put his house on the market. Or maybe the missus don't like the house. Maybe the missus wants to move to a posh house, a very nice house somewhere down the road in Manchester. I've been to Manchester before. It's a lovely, lovely place. I was staying in, where was I staying? I was working in, where's that place called? This is where all the rich footballers live. I was not rich, I was just working there for a company, and it was lovely. It starts with an A, I can't remember the name. It's like a little village, but in that village, you got all these small shops. They've got Gucci shops and Versace shops, and it's really, really expensive stuff, man. So yeah, Manchester is very nice. So Ganacho looking to leave. He's 20 years old. That's in the daily. That's in the Sun newspaper back pages as well. If you go on to the next paper, this is on the back page. Make sure you hit the likes and subscribe to the channel. This is a regular feature now. Every Sunday, 11 a.m. That's the plan. But today we started a little bit late, and it's going to be a short one today because of we got two games today. Tottenham taking on Southampton. That's at 2 o'clock, and then we've got the Manchester derby as well. So let's get straight into the other stories, the other newspapers. The other newspaper, that's the Daily Star. In the back pages of the Daily Star as well. Back pages of the Daily Star as well. It's all about what's his name? Um, it's all about Florian Wirtz. He's been linked to City. He's been linked to City, and that's the biggest story on that back page there. And then De Bruyne talking about De Bruyne as well. It's all the same stories in the newspaper. Also about the Manchester derby, uh, and then there's a little story there about John Summer spree of 200 million that City are going to go on a big spending spree in the summer, and they're going to spend 200 million. You know, we're not surprised about City, man. City spend a lot of money as it is, but that's a club that knows that, you know, for you to be at the top, you need to spend, you need to go out and spend money just to, to refurbish or replenish the squad, you know. And that's what I keep saying about, about managers are not, they don't do magic really, to be honest. They make stuff work by the players that they're given. So yeah, it is what it is. That's just the nut and bolt of it, really. You give managers players, good players, and then they can develop it. And no, obviously not in all cases. Sometimes managers get rubbish. You give them average or not too good players, and they work with the players they have. That's just the way it is. But sometimes the players are not good enough, and it takes time for managers to navigate those that are not good enough, and for those that can take them to the next level. A player comes in, takes them to level A, then you need another player to take you to that next level B, then until and sometimes your manager's lucky, you get the right players, you get like 5, 6 players that just grow together and develop together, and then you have a very good team. Example of that was Poch at Tottenham. He came into the club, he had a couple of players in already, Ericsson, Lamela, all those kind of players from previous seasons. He added a couple of players, and bang, they went on. Tottenham had a good season. So, you need a lot of luck. You need a lot of luck to actually what do you call it? Actually get the best out of the manager. Let's go to the next story in this in the Mirror. Um, this is the Sunday back pages. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, like, share, all that beautiful stuff. This is Sunday afternoon. The sun is out as well. Looking forward to the games, the weekend's football as well. The Sunday Mirror is the same story. Flovat's flows. They is the one. Amorim, I will need luck to for Pep 3.0. Basically, Amorim, Manchester United manager. Oh, sorry, Manchester United manager has been talking and he's been saying something like, I don't like the situation I'm in. We need to. I think they got a plan 2021. Uh, oh God, what are we now? 2025. Sorry, so we are in 2025. Say, was it 2031 or something for them to win the league? I think he's not going to get that time. So yeah, he's a good manager. You can see the team he's built in the past, but can he do it at Manchester United? That's the big question. There's another story in one of the newspapers that I saw today. Was something about Ange that what's it called, has made he's made the call about Ange. Let me just look for a story. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like, share, all that beautiful stuff. Do, 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 do. Let me look for that. I'll find that story now. Just find that story. I saw earlier about Daniel Levy making a call on what do you call it? Making a call on he's making a call on Daniel. He's making a call on Ange that he's gonna bring in a new manager. Every time Tottenham lose a game, he's making a call. So that story is just a trail of liquids on the floor that just going back to the source. Nobody's surprised about that kind of story, really, and I'm not really bothering myself with those stories. And those stories have been hanging on for quite a while. Also, games in the stories as well in the newspaper. Newspaper back page headlines also. There's loads of stories about the weekend's fixtures, it is mainly around the games that are played over the weekend, and yeah, it's, to be honest, it's nothing surprising. It is all just. I think the only surprising thing was the thing that happened at the Arsenal Everton game, where the referee stopped the game before the end of the match, and and they had to pull him up on it. So yeah, which is, it's not the worst thing that's ever happened. I think there's something like that happened during the World Cup as well. So yeah, those are the back pages of the newspaper. Mainly, the key thing is Kevin De Bruyne, and the key thing is that he's going to be. They're looking for a successor for him, and I think everything else is just what do you call it? It's just secondary news. Big story out of today's newspapers, the back pages, is Kevin De Bruyne. They're looking Manchester United Manchester City, sorry, looking for a successor. The other story is the Manchester Derby, and it's for me, it's what do you call it? It's the Manchester Derby is not the same, but it's still a derby to be like. But the intensity now, because both teams are not playing really well, so I think they are not doing really well. So I think there's a little bit of a little bit of nothing is really riding on it apart from City wants the top four. On the Sun as well, Arsenal are ready to raid Blackburn for an England youth striker, Ave Higgins. Don't know who he is. The Guardian also animal rights have criticized Grand National after a horse that was leading the race suffered a grim fall and the second collapse shortly after the competition. These things are the animal rights. They come up and they criticize. If we think that we're going to be racing horses and we think that this kind of stuff are not going to be happening, then it is either you ban racing of horses completely. I didn't even know yesterday was Grand National. I could have put in a bet as well. So that you ban the racing of horses completely, or you just you can raise concerns. I think it's okay for them to raise concerns, but criticize the Grand National is a bit, I don't know. What do they expect, man? Nobody knew the horse was gonna fall. That is gonna happen. The fence, maybe the fences should be a little bit lowered or something because they are too high. I don't know. There should be a way. There should be a compromise there somewhere. But this kind of things happens every time, and I'm not surprised. The BBC and ITV have declined to pursue the chance to televise this summer's Club Cup World Cup, leaving FIFA increasingly concerned about the visibility of flagship new tournament in a key market. Nobody wants that tournament, to be honest. I think the Zone is the only one that put up a bid to cover it, and they've got the rights or something. They paid some ridiculous amount of money as well to FIFA. FIFA is trying to push this competition down people's throat, but it's banging in the middle of it's in the summer, but nobody wants to be covering it. I guess there's no audience. The Athletic, about 500 Manchester United fans who sit in the general admission seat closet to the dugout will be moved for next season. Changes at that club because of the new owners. I think I'm not surprised about that. And yeah, that's it really. Daily Express. That's it in terms of football. This is the what do you call it? This is the football back Sunday back page, and yeah, I think the main story is just Manchester Derby and Manchester City looking for successor for Kevin De Bruyne, which is understandable. So yeah, that's it really. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and yeah, it is. That's the end of the show. Next week we come back a little bit earlier, about 11 o'clock. This is the football Sunday back pages of the newspapers, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Take care, and God bless.